So yeah, double. And I'll get into that. Also, sorry about the buzzing. It's a fly. So yeah, I've got double because I forgot some things about book one. So let's go back to book one. The other thing which I forgot is 2 other stories. Actually, I might talk about that later because that's spoilers. Actually, yeah, it's still spoilers. Sort of for the first one, but I'm gonna keep it in there. So I like the second one. The art is still good and it still does get really interesting as you continue. It is fun in that sort of way and really interesting about the story overall. It is something worth watching, but obviously the important part of the story and the part that I prefer to say are the spoilers. So I just want to say a couple of things. I did say correctly, I wasn't 100% sure if it was in the first book or the second book, but this part, or at least this amount of the book, is dedicated to sort of the backstory, but the other 2 parts are the part connecting them with this person who's selling this food, who was like, oh, the hospital, which is in the anime, which with certain details is really interesting in the book, and how they depict the certain scenes, but is really good. Because obviously, fully I respect animators, but with drawing, you have more restrictions because you don't have movement. So how you pose is, I think, interesting when you do stuff like this. Obviously, I'm not going to say animation isn't worth anything. It is still a lot. You also have the story with the person from the upper crust and the person from the lower crust, and it's like really interesting in that way, obviously. But the more fun one is this one, because as you can see, this is Sherlock. And it's also the whole thing that I mentioned in even the back book, which is essentially, it's sort of like slowly introducing Sherlock. Because when I originally watched it, I thought, oh no, we're not going to introduce Sherlock. It was the Moriarty thing. I was like, no, this Sherlock is still here. And I like how they introduce him with doing a traditional sort of mystery, by having Sherlock in the background, having Moriarty have one of his plans, and then Sherlock's just there, and then having a little story. But I love how it'll just be like, and here's what Sherlock's doing. It also introduces Dr. Watson. They do the sort of like plan that Moriarty usually has, and with that they introduce Sherlock. And then the next thing is a small little adventure with Sherlock where they introduce Dr. Watson, which I do think is a clever way how they sort of like move into that. So yeah, this is really fun, and again, it is better that I can be like, yeah, I can look at this, and this looks really cool, and like I can hold it up and move it. Yeah, I don't do the same thing for the DVDs because quite frankly, don't care. But also allows me to just hold it and be like, books. But yeah, back to Marvel stuff. This is the last one that I kind of fully watched. Or more like, you get what I mean when I get into it, but yeah. More Marvel. So yeah, I hope you enjoy and good night. More Marvel Netflix, even though it's not Marvel Netflix because technically it's not on Netflix, it's on Disney Plus, who cares? So yeah. One thing I need to add is I found this. It was in the box below my chairs. I'm sometimes a dumbass. Anyway, let's get back to this. So I'm going to add that eventually. There's other stuff I'm doing first. So that's not going to be a priority. But, yeah. But anyway, just a good job. Season 2. I like this. I'm going to be honest. I do prefer Season 1. Simply because, 1, I'm a Doctor Who fan and I like David Tennant, sue me. And 2, even though I like, and I fully do like the idea of why them and why, I like the ones that are manipulative against, like, it's just this. And do I like the other characters who are more stronger in, like, Daredevil and this? Yes. Besides the point. I sometimes have contradiction in opinion, but the one thing I do agree is, even though I prefer the other ones, besides Kilgrave, out of all of Marvel Netflix I've come to see,
this one I think has the best villain, which is her mum. Because at one hand, you do have that complexity of it's your parents, and the other hand, she is not doing great. And I like at first that she's willing to be like, go to jail, do this, do that. And at some point it's like, no, we're just going to run away. And I like at the end, it's that sort of thing of, it's revealed of what's happened and it's really interesting and really dark. And the fact that, because Jessica Jones and, again, bad name, sorry, the person who he was working with split is interesting. What's going to happen? There's a third series. Hopefully he's still alive, because Jessica Jones is coming back to a Disney Plus show that isn't sort of Netflix, and I want that. So yeah, it is exciting. But it is one of the things that I do like this. I do like the learning about what's really going on and learning that there were others. Definitely when you realise you've got this person who has these speed powers, it's like, wait again, you are telling the truth. It's like, what? It's fun. So yeah, I do find this fun, but I don't really have much to say. It's fun, it's cool, go watch it. And now, yeah, we're gonna have another short one. There's a couple of these. So yeah, this. It's fun, it's interesting, and it exists. It is one of the things that I found. Again, I have these, I want to watch it. And again, learning about it is just fun. Because again, I just like learning stuff in general. Again, as slowly as I go through it, I'm like, I have less to tell you because I don't really have anything to tell you. So yeah, it's one of those things, it's just like, it exists, it's here, it's fun, watch it. If you find it, I don't know how easy or hard it is to find, but yeah, it does exist. Go watch it. If you don't want to watch it, you don't need to. But yeah. Yeah. I talked about this more yesterday, but I hadn't seen the Patreon. But yeah. Ghost. Rogue Nation next. So yeah. I have a mission. Let's leave because I am not getting involved. So yeah. You have like one of these. And again, this is the last one that Jeremy Renner is part of. Because 6, he's not. I don't know if he's dead. Like the character, not Jeremy Renner's dead. Jeremy Renner. Sorry to the amazing actor for mispronouncing your name. He's still alive. But the actor didn't came back for, I think, very logical reason. I think something like a bit of injury that he has obtained, a bit of like, I think, family reasons, and all of them good enough. But he's not in it after this one, which is sad because I love this character, but I get it. Sometimes you have other priorities. You do that instead. Sometimes you have a family. Shocker. Sometimes they take priorities. But I do like all of this. It does feel like through the last, like, I think 3 through Ghost Protocol, like there's more of like the big staffs with like secret like tricks involved, which I always saw with the series, but I still do love this. I do think this is really good. The one thing I do like is that of how it ended and began, which is sort of it began with being certain. I would like to ask, and yes, I know at the current moment, and I would like to point this out because I am going to talk about this and how it's represented. The Constitution of America has been ripped up to absolute shreds, but I can't talk too much about it. I am neither a lawyer, legal person, ever been worked in politics, or American. The last one's not really important, but I'm not part of their rules and laws, so I can't comment on any of them. In my opinion, I do agree. I think Legal Eagle put it best. I agree with what he says. That seems like what should happen, and it's not. So, but besides that, I like the beginning of the film starts off, hence why I mentioned the legal thing, like a sentence of like, Senate, I believe this organization is da-da-da-da-da-da-da," and sort of like talk about disbanding it, and then you have sort of like Renner's character, which goes, well, it works in this situation and this situation. And I love the thing where it's like, we cannot discuss further mission until the Secretary of Defense have approved, which is obvious because in the last film, he died. It's both spoiling for that film and this film, but it is important that like he's dead. I don't think I mentioned that in that one. He just dies. I like him doing the secret stuff in the last film. But he, besides that one scene and then setting up the premise, he doesn't really have anything else. But I do like the overall, anyway, but like at the end of the film, it goes into being like, so that's why we had to disband the organization, put it with the CIA, and then bring them back up, and I would like to reinstate them because of the organization I myself said was insane. Really? I just love that for the idea of like, well, it works. It works. And this part there is about like convincing him the other way, which is also a fun idea. So yeah. Yeah, this is fun. It's a really cool watch. There's not much else to say, but yeah, go watch it. It's cool. It's amazing. It has fun characters. And now next. Hey. Wait, what is it? Get it. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it and good night. And then now into a series I might not talk as much. But let's do as much as I can. So with me kind of switching things up and vibing with things, being like, oh, I'll start this, do that, fly, then I look straight into light. That's how. I watched this. And besides being a pretty good mystery, it's fine. I don't mean that as a bad thing. It's a pretty good watch. It's just not for me. It's one of those things. It's the same with Paddington. Paddington, I will fully admit, is good. I like it. Not for me. I don't like it. This is kind of a little bit different. I like it. I like it. It's one of the things where I was like, did you watch Glasgow? Yeah, I watched it. It's like, what do you think? Yeah, I liked it. It's like, what do you mean you liked it? It's like, yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was a fun watch. It's like, and? No, that's it. Which is like, makes this review. But that's really it. The one thing I do like is how this mystery is one of those mysteries where it's like, and this mystery includes something in the past. I also like that one of the main focus is that it's on someone who was part of the old situation. And I also like the fact that there's certain mystery. There's a thing with like a oil thing being shut down and a couple of people doing things, which is interesting. But it's really fun. But again, I like it, it's fun, go watch it. I'm not denying it is a good watch. But often it's not something that I would actively look for, it's just I want to watch more different things and sometimes that just turns out into So yeah, this is an interesting mystery. It is definitely a good mystery in my opinion. But again, not really much to talk about. So from mystery I'm less interested into Dr. Sherlock Holmes mystery. Yeah, I watch way too much anime and I fully admit that, but yeah, this. Let's go. So it appears to be because of how you walk, we're clearly watching an anime. Oh no, I don't have a medical advice, I'm not a doctor. But yeah, that and plus, also that's the sort of thing where it's like, if you read, this is sort of like how the sort of like main character does the detective work. It's sort of like Sherlock-y, which is fun because one, I don't know if it's exactly or if it's a similar vibe, which if that's the case it doesn't matter. But Sherlock was like the person who Arthur Conan Doyle. I think there's a thing that people have said, including if you read like History in 60 Seconds, where they say like, oh, that like he had a doctor who trained him, and he did the same thing that Sherlock did as a doctor, and he was like, oh, but what happens if he wasn't a detective? That's not important.
this is fun because of the mysteries. It's sort of like you get a mystery each time. And with most of them, I don't have much to say besides they're awesome. The only two I like is one in the middle of it and the end one. It is still going to legitimately take the whole thing because I will talk about the first sort of scene, which is fun. But yeah, let's actually get into that. So yeah, so the first thing I'll talk about is the first scene because do you know what all the best to do is in? The order you're supposed to want to. Okay, number one. Well, there's one thing that I think is really good with this. Well, that is simply the fact that in this, how they get introduced is you have two patients that you have two doctors sort of talking and they talk about this other character and then the character comes in. Is it a small detail like, yeah, this is how you do basic introduction of character like in the main sort of story because you get introduced to these two characters and then this one. Makes sense. He's with her in the same department. It makes sense of how they do it in that one. Alongside bringing up the mystery and that one, which is a good mystery. And I like the idea of everyone was like, oh, the doctor was doing drastic depression, so they assumed that he was not doing it for no reason. Which is interesting. Like, legitimately, like, okay, he was alive at this one. And then they're like, yeah, he was doing it for no reason. I'm like, I kind of assumed, like the rest of them, that he was doing chest compression to save his life and not do it to a dead man. Which is also another one. But the other two I like is, one, you have two mysteries in two rooms, which is one, three people who, weirdly, at several points in time, are getting injured. And the other time, in the other room, basically an angel. And I like it because what he had, like, there's a connection between her past and her feeling not as good, and it's really interesting because of that. But I also like the idea that they wanted to try and help them and did all these things, which legitimately got them in danger because of this. And obviously, I forgot to say this to the last one before I said it, but these are spoilers for a mystery, which is kind of the point of the show. But the thing with this is they do these things that they bullied him and they felt bad, so they stayed in the hospital by triggering some of their symptoms through legitimate drugs, which don't do that. Really don't. Like, I think in the show, one of them nearly died because the proportions were wrong. Don't do that. But what they did also, which is also what don't do that, was there was a small thing outside, so they snuck out through the window, sneaked through the wall, and did that. Which, I like this because it's one of those things where the whole premise is the idea of them feeling bad and then wanting to actually change, which I think is really interesting and really fun. And then the second one, alongside that, is sort of like trying to connect it and having her past be connected to this and not revealing it, because the reason why is to show hope to this other kid because the kid is sort of like dying. Which, if it was for any other reason, I would say these kids are kind of dumb for doing what they're doing. They're putting themselves in serious danger. Well, not kind of, they're actually dumb for putting themselves in serious danger. But I kind of would take that back a bit when you reveal that they've got regrets, they've got decisions, and that's interesting. Was it a wise decision? No, but I would also acknowledge they are kids, And kids sometimes will make rash decisions. Will I say that this is probably not a good choice, and the next time they probably should have like told us and we could have done something to give his spirits up, and maybe like the kid would have apologized or we could have done something? Yes. Absolutely. Do not do that. That is dangerous. But as an episode, I think it's good. Again, don't do this. This is not me being like, and then making sure that no one sues me for spreading false messages. But at the same time, I'm praising this episode for doing something that I will fully admit is a bad idea. Just straight up, leave it on the head. Even though, like, this audience, adults. But, again, all of this is besides the point. What's my favorite episode? Is the 2 finales, because it's a locked room mystery. Because that is fun. The idea of like having a room locked and closed is so interesting to me. Like, how did this happen? How did this murder happen? Why did it happen? And doing all of these things to try and figure out who actually did the murder. And when you learn about how it happened, it's really fun and interesting. Definitely when you get into like the person who goes next and trying to like people who own stuff. I'm dyslexic, you know kind of what I mean. That's my fridge. So yeah, it's fun and it's, in my opinion, really entertaining because of that and because of that part of the mystery. So yeah. So yeah, again, besides going to each mysteries, which I have done with some of them, there is some that's like, okay, here's what I like this about Black Mirror, I did that. But because of this, I'm not. Because there are certain times I'm like, maybe not going through literally every episode and be like, okay, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. Isn't great. Some I don't mind because with anthologies, you have that. You also have the character relationships sort of grow and develop and gain better, like, more, like, fun. Sometimes I'm like, I say stuff and then I forget what I'm saying halfway through the sentence. Yay! I'm a good TikTok YouTuber. Besides the point, this is good. Watch it. That's all I want to say. And now with something with full detective reasoning to something with a theoretical ending, which I don't know what it is. I still don't. This is a very confusing show. And yes, I am going to wait 1 minute to run out the clock because then I don't need to reach over and I can just wait. Does this make sense? No. But for me showing the show, which still I'm debating, not if it's good or bad, but again, next time, but what the ending meant. I think it's fitting. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, and yeah, I hope you like, and good night. I thought oopsie, but yeah. So this should be yesterday, and yesterday should be yesterday, and I am doing this very badly. Yay, I'm doing bad at this uploading thing. Even though no one's forcing me to do it. Huh? Oh no, he's for no, there's no one here, trust me, I'm fine. I like this because the one major thing about all of this is the idea that at the beginning, the person had sort of like
I'm going to leave it. They have something that leads them to question. And that idea, which I'll get into more in spoilers because I don't know the specific reason, is I'm also going to emphasize I'm not a medical expert and I don't know if this is what will happen if this isn't real, sort of way. But I like the idea that is this real? Is this person losing touch with what is real? Is it fake? It's really fun, it's really interesting. And I do love that idea of what's real, what's not, what's actually going on here, which I think overall it's fun, it's interesting, what really is happening, what is really going on. There is a season 2. I'm excited to watch the season. I'm not even gonna lie. The season 2 would be yes, more. But at the moment, I don't know what that would be. I am excited. I really do want to know what's going on. And yeah. I was close to the 2 minute mark, so I just moved to the 2 minute mark. I don't know why. Anyway. One of the spoilers is that this thing, the major reason why this happened is, also I might turn this off because this doesn't help this, it's helps for everyone. So, that's a bit better actually. Is that she experienced at the beginning of the series a car crash. I don't know how much of this is spoiler or if this is in trailers. Again, rule on spoilers, if anyone wants to know what I would consider spoilers, it's if it's a basic thing like stuff like IMDb, like actors, character names. I don't usually use other names because I'm dumb and I'm bad with names. If it's in basic trailer, if you search undone trailer, same with teasers, but usually teasers don't have any information besides this character, this concept. So that's why I don't usually, in my original ones, I didn't mention teasers, because realistically teasers are, this character exists. Okay? Also, if it's on simple posters, like most posters that most people would realistically see, trade rules. So, trailers, posters, IMDb. And the reason why I go with simple is I don't want people to go to research to be like, this is not spoilers, but you need to do this research to go, no. So I don't know if it's on the trailers because sometimes I'm like, I'm done. I've heard it. And I'm going to watch it. And I have no trailer, so I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on what's been in the trailer. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, I know this is meaning the trailer, so I'll talk about this in the don't spoil section. Anyway, not important. I do like the fact that when she's in the car crash, which I don't know, again, I said before, I don't really know what, if it's true or not, I don't think so, I don't know. And because of that, is it that this person isn't seeing what's real because of the accident? And I do like that debate. And because I'm at the end of season 1, don't tell me it wasn't season 2, is that twist of, did her father come out? And I somewhat believe yes, based on what it's set up, but I could also buy someone coming up to me and be like, yeah, here's the reason why, no, please, I love it, this will be fun, say your opinion. I know, a lot of people are like, yeah, it's adding exposure points. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I would really want to, in either YouTube comments, TikTok comments, put a comment of why you think, only in season 1, no information that's in season 2, until I review season 2. Also, if you're going to start, put one chain saying spoiler, and then the next one. So, if you start a chain, someone who sees this video and doesn't want to be spoiled might not see it. Because I have, a non-spoiler section. So that if you just want to see that and then watch the series, yeah. Again, no, you've got great at this. But again, I would love to talk and make debates about in the comment section, about if this is real or if it's not. It would be really fun. So yeah, I do think this is really fun. I do really like this idea, and I am excited for season 2. I saw this originally, and I think I saw it on a couple of places, and I'm like, But when someone talked about one, because the art style is unusual, it's sort of quite artistic, which isn't bad, but it gives that sort of feel of what's real because of how it looks. It's really fun with that way. I do love it. I think it's like rotoscoping or something like that is what it's called. It's when you like animate over a visual medium, I think. So yeah. But I do think the idea of what is real, what is happening, what is going on is interesting enough as like, I don't know. Maybe it is all real, maybe it isn't. It's fun to think about. It's fun to question. So yeah. But besides going back through the nth time over, it is really fun. So next, Puzzled! Which is really fun, trust me. So yeah, I'll talk more about that in that one. It will be a little bit shorter, but go. That will be fun. And also, yes, technically will be today as well. But in a bit, I'm just doing other stuff as well. So yeah, good night.